I'm Ethan Steinberg.
And I'm Kylie Valley, reporting for the Lobby Observer.
Today we are covering two stories,
One on the freshman class officers.
and one on the NBA draft.
Now we're going to send it to Emily Coffey, who's interviewing a few of the freshman class officers.
Hi, I'm Emily Coffey reporting for the Lobby Observer, and I'm here with Corinne Levesque and Simon Blyer, two members of the freshman class office. So I'll start with Corinne. What position do you hold in class office, and what does it entail?
I am the president of my grade, and a huge part of making our group successful is communication. And figuring out what needs to be done and who is best for the task is all about the conversations and communications that we make. As president, I need to make sure that everyone has a role to play and everyone is able to help in making this the best freshman year at WHS.
That's awesome. And Simon, what about you?
So I'm the vice president for our class of 2024. And pretty much what I do is I'm like Corinne's right-hand man, and I just follow the rules that I need to do, whether it's spirit wear or any other events in planning. So that's pretty much it.
Okay, and then I'll start with you this time. What made you run for this position?
I've always wanted to be in student government. I like dealing with people, and I was just really excited to make a difference within my class because I feel like there's a lot of things that I can do. And in this position, it just makes it much easier.
That's awesome. And then Corinne, what made you want to run for president?
I wanted to run for this position because I felt that this would be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to lead some of the greatest people I know. And I also wanted to help with the planning of events and fundraisers to make the students have a fun and productive 4 years at WHS.
That's awesome. I know that the freshman elections recently happened and we're in the middle of a pandemic. What have been some early challenges you guys have faced?
Well, thinking about planning events and fundraisers is really difficult because there's so many unpredictable aspects of COVID-19, and planning around the guidelines is really challenging. Also, not being able to connect with the other half of my grade has been really hard because I'd love to see everyone together and to see everyone able to connect with their friends. Also, not being able to talk to them directly without a computer is really difficult.
And then what either one of you can answer, what do you hope to accomplish this year?
I mean, I think we just want to just make this as successful as a year as possible for the students in our class, whether it's spirit wear or, like I said before, events. We just want to make this as fun as possible, even under the current circumstances, and that's what we hope to do.
And what are you guys most excited for the upcoming year?
I am most excited for facing all the challenges head on and looking for ways to make this a great year despite all the troubles all the students have faced. I'm also really excited to get to work with my team. The other students I'm working with are such great people, and our advisors are super friendly. So I'm most looking forward to making connections with all of them, and together we can make this a great first year for the 2024 students.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
great. So thank you guys so much. I hope you have a successful year. This is Emily Coffey reporting for the Lobby Observer.
Thanks, Emily. It will be great for the freshmen to look back and see how far they've come.
Now we're going to send it out to Awika, who had a chance to check out with Coach Semino on his opinions on the upcoming previous NBA draft.
Hello, my name is Awika from the Lobby Observer here, and today I'm with Coach Semino, the boys' assistant varsity basketball coach. Hi, Coach Semino. How's your day been?
I'm doing all right. How you doing, Awika?
Good. Today we're going to be talking about the NBA draft that took place last Wednesday and our thoughts on it. So, Coach, going with all these COVID situations, how do you feel the NBA was able to handle this during such a distressed time?
I think the NBA has actually been by far not only the best sports league as far as how they've handled COVID, I think they're one of the best organizations in the world with how they've handled COVID. Let's not forget that when this all started, when the pandemic really started to kick into high gear on March 12th, who was the league that made the decision to shut everything down? It was the NBA. And everybody followed suit. So I think the NBA has done an incredible job. You look at the bubble and the experience they had down there, and everyone's talking about that wasn't going to go well and this and that. It went perfect. They had no issues. And they were actually able to bring in families as they're sending teams out so they could keep the numbers the same. They managed that unbelievable. I think that the NBA did a terrific job and is continuing to do a terrific job with the COVID stuff. And that's a credit to Adam Silver, who's, I think, the best commissioner in sports.
So moving along to the draft, how do you feel about the Timberwolves selecting Anthony Edwards with the number 1 pick?
It's a good fit for them. I mean, they have they got a guy like that with, they got Cat and I'm not a huge fan of him, but he's a talent, and obviously it didn't work out with Wiggins. But you need wings, you need those type of guys, you need guards to survive in today's NBA. I personally believe that bigs are crucial, and I think the game might swing back a little bit with that, with the more inside play. But you still need to have guards, and if you don't have enough guards in today's NBA, you're gonna struggle. And I think Edwards is gonna bring some talent. And I like his attitude too. He seems like an interesting guy. You need to have those guys in your teams. I mean, you're an athlete, and having that person on your team that can kind of keep you guys loose. But when it comes time to go, he's going to go. I like him. I think he's going to be a good player for them.
Good. So obviously, you being a Celtics fan, the Celtics fans may not have the highest draft picks this year, but they were selected 2 players in this draft. How do you think that went this year?
I like the first one. Aaron Naismith, I think that's a good pick. He's a shooter. He's got and it's not just a shooter. He has a great looking shot. So I know a lot of people looked at his freshman year and he only shot 35%. People are like, oh well, he only had a small sample size of 14 games the second year. Just look at his form. It's perfect. He's got a really good looking shot. That's the same thing they noticed with Jason Tatum when he was at Duke. His shot was good. He just didn't hit a lot of them, and it was going to change as time went on because he had some issues going on. I think he had a finger injury or something like that. Naismith, the same thing. His freshman year wasn't all that great as far as a shooter. Second year in college, your body fills out a little bit. You start to get a little more comfortable, and he can light it up. I think he is definitely a guy that can come in right away and help out just because. And I know a lot of people have said that, but if you can hit the 3 and you know where to go and you know what areas to go to, that's good. And the other thing I love about him is perpetual movement. He's always moving, and that's something that when you have one guy, this week we talk about this when we're during basketball.
Yep.
If one guy moves all the time, it's contagious, and that gets the whole offense moving. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
The point guard, he's talented, but I don't know. I'm a little concerned about the size. I'm a little concerned about that. That's what I'm concerned about. Size and athleticism. Can he hang in an NBA game? He can kick and score. He can shoot it. That seems to be a common theme with them, which they needed. But I'm not sold on Peyton Pritchard. Let's put it that way. I'm sold on him being a great college player, but I've seen how this goes sometimes with these small point guards. They come to the NBA. Sometimes they're just not athletic enough. So we'll see.
Okay. So to wrap it up, this has not been the most, as people would say, exciting draft, obviously, compared to the past couple years. But in all, who do you think was the biggest steal in this draft?
James Wiseman. And I know he went number 2, but I mean, you got a 7-footer that kid's got athleticism. He's not a rail. He's built. He hasn't even come close to what he's going to be. And he may not be the best offensive guy. And he's one of the reasons why I think that you're going to start to see the game get back to the low post a little bit more. Because the kids like him that are coming up, those guys, they can play too. But I thought Wiseman was a great pick. There was a couple of them that really jumped out to me. Let me take a look here. There was one I almost forgot who it was. Sixers. Tyrese Maxey pick was a really good pick. I like that one a lot. I thought the Celtics were going to take him. Clearly there was something there that they didn't like, so they didn't go after him. The other one I thought, and this guy could be hit or miss, but I think from a talent perspective, where the Celtics were, if he had slipped to them at 26, I know they would have taken him. And I kind of wish they could have traded up to get him, was R.J. Hampton. I think R.J. Hampton's got some serious ability. Kid's got springs in his feet. You can't teach that stuff. You look at a guy like Gerald Green, and Gerald Green had a pretty successful NBA career. In fact, the Celtics drafted him originally. And I think that if you look at a guy like Hampton, he could be a better version of Gerald Green. So I just think that the Nuggets, as we know, are pretty good at drafting. I think that they found themselves a player there.
That's good to know. So, Coach, I would like to say thank you for interviewing, being able to do this interview today. It was a pleasure.
No problem.
This is Awika from the Labio.
Thanks, Awika. Very strange year this year, but it's going to be exciting to see what these new rookies can do.
That's all for this broadcast. I'm Kylie Valley.
And I'm Ethan Steinberg, signing off for the Lobby Observer.